The summer of 2022 has been a season of change in the real estate market. Nationally, we are seeing a shift more towards a buyer-friendly market. Even though the statistics and numbers are still proving to us that we are in a seller's market, we are seeing a huge contrast to what we've been seeing over the past couple of years. Stay tuned. In this video, we are going to be covering the real estate stats for Charlotte, North Carolina, and the surrounding areas for August 2022. Inflation, higher interest rates, and fears of a recession have contributed to many buyers and sellers sitting on the sidelines and playing the wait and see game. We are noticing that huge changes occurred in the month of August 2022. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you can see the updated stats every single month. New listings is a count that shows how many properties hit the market in a given month. So in the month of August 2022, the Charlotte region saw 5,175 new listings hitting the market. This is a 15.2% decrease from last August 2021. We also saw a very major decrease from July of 2022. If you check out this graph, you can see that new listings is a very cyclical occurrence in the Charlotte area and really in real estate as a whole. You can see the up and down, up and down. It's very cyclical. And you can see that over the course of the last, I think they're showing almost 20 years here, 18 years of data. So you can tell that it's normal for the number to decrease a little bit from July to August. Last year, from July to August, it was a very slight decrease. It was much more drastic this year. Pending sales is measuring how many homes actually went under contract during a given month. And in August 2022, the Charlotte region had 4,607 homes go under contract. This is a decrease of 18% from last year. You can see last year's number here, 5,618. And that is a pretty drastic decrease from last year. And it is a slight increase from July. So under contract was a measure that did increase from last month. Closed sales is measuring how many homes actually went to the closing table in August. So these could be homes that hit the market in August, July, June, even earlier. It's a measure of how many homes actually went to the closing attorney and closed. In August 2022, there were 4,393 homes closed, which was a decrease of 22%. That is a drastic decrease. If you can see the percent change in this column here, let's increase the size a little so you can see it. If you can see the percent change, it has not hit a negative 22% until this month. So that is a drastic decrease from last year. It's very, very similar to the number of closings that happened in July 2022. Days on market until sale is measuring the number of days from the time it hits the market, goes active, until it is no longer showable. So under contract, no show is what signals the end of that count. In August 2022, that number is 19. It has increased a little bit over the past several months. If you can see, let's increase the size of this so you can see the table. It has increased over the past several months, and it has increased 26.7% from August 2021. We have been seeing lower numbers in the pandemic market, and it's still pretty close to the levels we've been seeing throughout the pandemic. So this number hasn't changed too drastically, although on a case-by-case basis, I would say we are seeing a daily increase in these days on market until sale. During the pandemic market, it was very common for homes to hit the market on Thursday or Friday and be under contract by Sunday or Monday. And we are just not seeing that as much in the day-to-day market. There's a difference between the list price and the sale price. The list price is the price that the seller determines. The seller chooses to market the home at this price. The sale price is determined by the buyers and the market. The average list price is taking a look at the average price that homes were listed at in a given month. In August 2022, that number is $459,697, an increase of 16.7% from August 2021. However, we are decreasing over the past several months. Basically, since April, we've been seeing a downward trend of the average list price, which is showing us that very likely that April point was probably the top of the market. So homes that were listed in April were about the highest point we've seen, and we've seen a decrease since then. My expectation is that this number will continue to decrease, and experts believe that this decrease may last 2 to 3 years from the time it began. Like I mentioned, the sales price is determined by the buyers in the market. The average sales price is measuring the average sales price of homes that closed in August 2022. And that number is $459,272. We are obviously still seeing that as an increase from last year because prices have not come down to that level. So it is a 16.9% increase from August 2021. And honestly, it is a slight increase from July of 2022. So we saw a very slight, almost insignificant change from July to August as far as sales price goes. And remember, these are homes that closed in August. This number is also expected to be decreasing over the next year, year and a half, maybe 2 years. As you can probably tell from this graph, we probably hit the peak of the market for homes that closed in June 2022 at 473,405. That was the highest point in the market over the 18-year span that is shown on this graph, and most likely will not be reached again for the next couple years. As a former science teacher, I actually prefer the median over the average because it gives a gauge on where that middle number or medium number is. And for the month of August 2022, we were at $388,505, an increase of 16.7% from August 2021, and a slight, if not insignificant, change from July 2022. So it wasn't a huge difference from last month. Again, we can take a look at that historical data to show us that graph over the last 18 years. And again, we saw that height, that peak in June 2022. Experts are anticipating that the decrease that is coming will last about 2 to 3 years, and we may not see this number hit again for several years after that as we rebound. That is if history repeats itself, which, as you can see in the data, the historical data, it tends to follow a similar pattern over and over again. This next stat is probably the most surprising I saw on the stats for August 2022, and it is the percent of original list price received. So when we are at 100%, that is telling us that on average, homes closed for the price they were listed at. So sellers were receiving the same price at sale that they listed it for. Over 100% would mean that sellers were receiving higher than list price, and lower than 100% would mean sellers were receiving lower than list price. In August 2022, we hit 98.5%. This is the first time since February of 2021 that we were lower than 100%. This is showing us that sellers were still anticipating a rising market and were listing homes at a higher point in anticipation of the trending market. And the shift happened quickly enough that they weren't ready for the decreased value in homes. So buyers were putting in offers much lower and then having to catch up. This can be a tricky point for sellers because although they are still trying to list for a higher number and hoping to achieve that aspirational value, the market is shifting down. What will happen in that case is that sellers are consistently having to chase the market down by adding price decreases. And when you have to make those price corrections, it tends to let buyers know that you might have a little bit of a higher motivation. You might even be desperate to sell, and then they can offer even a lower amount. So it's very important to listen to your real estate professional about what's happening in the market when pricing your home. I would anticipate that this number would level off next month, maybe even rebound just a little bit, because now sellers are starting to see that the market has definitely shifted. The last stat we're going to talk about today is month supply of homes for sale. This is a measure that really shows us whether we're in a seller's market or a buyer's market. And basically 6 is that balanced market. Over 6 is going to show us a buyer's market, and under 6 is a seller's market, and then moving into a balanced market. At 1.5 months supply in August 2022, we are certainly still in a seller's market. However, when we are comparing that to the market we've seen over the past several years, it is going to feel much different. Sellers and buyers are going to feel like we're in a buyer's market just because of that contrast. So keep that in mind as you're selling your home and putting a list price, and also as you are looking in the market and buying a home. Buyers are able to ask for a few more concessions. Buyers are able to ask for a home warranty or maybe some seller paid closing costs. And like we've already seen, they can also offer below list price in many cases. While we're on this slide, let's go ahead and take a look at the historical values, because this is going to show us what happened back in about 2007-ish to about 2012, 2013. We saw a very strong buyer's market in the Charlotte area, very, very strong buyer's market. And honestly, since then, it has been decreasing well into the highest points of a seller's market. And so we are definitely seeing a little bit of a shift here. Will we see something like this? Only time will tell. So stay tuned for future videos so we can see what is happening in the market next month. As you can see, we are facing a shifting market. And if you are buying or selling in the Charlotte area, whether North or South Carolina, I would love to help. Reach out. My number and email are on the screen for you. If you are looking in a different area, if you're moving, relocating, or need a real estate professional in another area, please still reach out. I have a very extensive referral network, and I can connect you to an amazing professional wherever you need one. If you have questions about the local market, please feel free to reach out or leave a comment below. I would love to talk more about this. And if you'd like to see stats just like this for a particular neighborhood, I can provide those for you as well. Don't forget to like this video, share it to your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more information. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I taught you something. Bye.